The following video is an opinion piece only, not to be taken as legal advice. A card that you could get from some places, I'm going to be doing a very different version of to make it more generalized and more likely to work in many locations. I do not wish to speak with you, answer your questions, sign or hand you any documents based on my Fifth Amendment rights under the U.S. Constitution. I do not give you permission to enter my home based on my Fourth Amendment rights under the U.S. Constitution unless you have a warrant to enter signed by a judge or magistrate with my name on it and that you slide it under the door. I do not give you permission to search any of my belongings based on my Fourth Amendment rights. I choose to exercise my constitutional rights. These rights are available to citizens and non-citizens alike. Now, I'm going to be reading some text that may or may not be important to you to hear me do. So here we go. Based on Frazier versus Cupp, 1969, ussc case 394 U.S. 731, I will ignore all of your statements and demands I assume as deceptive and unlawful, unless corroborated through my right to counsel under the Sixth Amendment. I choose to exercise my rights that are available to citizens and non-citizens alike under the U.S. Constitution. Based on the Fifth Amendment, I will not speak with you. I will not answer your questions. I will not sign any documents. I will not hand you any documents. Based on all of the above, the Fourth Amendment, and more, even if you possess a warrant and allow me to easily read it, and it names me, and is signed by a judge or magistrate, I am never required to give you consent to enter my car or home or search me or my belongings or assist you in any way at all. Do you admit my rights have always been your limitations? Now, that one can be, it doesn't fit on a little business card as easy. I ain't going to read all that kind of thing. And I understand that, but this is different than I do not consent. That doesn't mean anything. On the basis that you are allowed to lie to me, and this is enshrined in the law, I'm not assuming any order you can give is lawful until we change that law to where you're not allowed to lie to me. Now, this is based on a pretty simple idea. A police officer, just like an ordinary citizen, can't know the 100,000 plus laws that every one of us is exposed to. No matter where you are in the United States and many other countries, you're subject to hundreds of thousands of laws in some cases. And he's not going to know all those. Neither are you. That's why you have to have a lawyer. But because the legal system has chosen to effectively encourage the police to get away with committing crimes and lie to you, why the hell would I believe that you know what you're talking about? And you're always told to say it respectfully. I don't have to be respectful anymore. We're beyond that. Agitated delirium, instead of acknowledging that tasers actually do cause people to die once in a while. Avoiding lawsuits by killing people because it's easier on the paperwork. None of this is a tenable situation for you or I. We should not have to put up with this crap. And we cannot enshrine it in the law if the people in power need to maintain power through force by having the police departments back them up. In case you haven't noticed, whoever has power over anybody, whether they control their budgets or whether or not they can wear that blue outfit, those are the people they work for. They do not protect and serve any of us. They never have, really. And yeah, some of the memes about them originally starting off as a particular force to do XYZ, most of those are bullshit stories. In fact, actually all of them are because they're oversimplified. But the end result, however, isn't oversimplified. Unless your local police officer actively resists becoming a tool of power for the powerful, unless they advocate for the powerless, they're just tools. I am not required to help you prosecute me. We're in an adversarial system. Now, I've been being pulled over. All I'm going to say is, if you can articulate the reason you pulled me over and not lie to me, and somehow have me believe you're not lying to me, then fine, we can communicate. If it's just a ticket you're giving me, I'm just going to talk to the judge anyway. There's no reason for my me to communicate with the police officer about anything. I'm going to hand them the paperwork and say, hello, did you know what you did? Unless you have an articulatable complaint, you already know that I'm not going to answer any questions. Here's my ID and everything. I demand that you do a full background check. You can refuse, but you're being audio-video recorded, and it doesn't matter what the timing is. You either pulled me over for a real reason, or you're on a fishing expedition, depending on what the funding and how much your morals can be shifted by whoever holds your purse strings. Meanwhile, it should be an absolute law that a police officer can refuse an unlawful order no matter who is powerful, and then it's an immediate removal from position for anybody in power to tell them to do something that's illegal. We don't have those protections for us. They don't have the protections for them either. So we have a really screwed up situation now. So I guess we get to be antagonistic to each other. I don't know the answers. I only know the questions. But, putting it on a little business card, making it easy, when this long form version you're going to read as text below in the description is honestly a lot better. Since 1969, the police have been overtly told you're allowed to lie to people. They just can't lie about what your rights are. And they do it anyway. You can see many videos where they do that. Not because they're wrong, they're lying. Other cases, they just don't know what the laws are. Or they were told by their boss to actively ignore your constitutional rights. There's some truth to this meme. We need to get rid of that. We need to make it to where it's not the truth anymore by having everything be the way it should be. Just a bit of a thought experiment on my part. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it.